Robert Nicolas, owner of Prop Jet Aviation, 19 years affiliation with the Silver Eagle product. Interviewed by George, the self-elected president of the Silver Eagle Pilots Association.
So why did you 19 years ago choose to go for the Silver Eagle?
Well, I didn't really choose to go for the Silver Eagle. It was 19 years ago, in 1999, I saw a Silver Eagle for the first time, parked on a ramp in the Bay Area, and thought it was an interesting looking airplane, and had never seen one before, never heard of one before, and but it got my attention, and that was my first experience with the Silver Eagle.
What do you like specifically on this airplane?
Well, my history, I fell in love with 210s in the 70s. I always admired them from afar, and I got my pilot license in 1973, and when I was able to graduate up into a 210, I went to retracts and I never went back, and I remember the first Piper aircraft I flew that was retractable, and then I got into, in the early 70s, into the 210s with the dealerships, because back in the day you could rent brand new aircraft. You could rent brand new aircraft for, you could lease them, and it was just, once I experienced the 210 phenomenon, I just was hooked on it ever since. It's a fantastic airplane.
And what is so fantastic on the Silver Eagle?
Well, when you get rid of the reciprocating engine and put a turbine on the end of the nose, it turns it into something that it just never was, that it should have been. Cessna knew that it should have been, and they were actually the first people to do it in 1985. And it's just an airplane that is, after 19 years, almost 20 years of flying it, I'm still amazed at what a great airplane that it is.
So takeoff performance?
It's all. It's takeoff performance, it's landing, it's flyability, it's, I call it the P factor, and the P stands for pucker, because when you fly on a regular 210, I never would cross the Sierras at night, or IMC in the piston 210, where I couldn't determine where a highway was or where the ground was, because if something happened to the engine, you're just gonna end up on the ground. And with the turbine, you get the surability, the reliability, the feeling inside you that the engine is safe, because it's not vibrating and you're not watching 6 EGTs and CHTs and TOT. With the turbine, you just have one lever, one important gauge, which is your turbine outlet temperature, naturally your oil pressure and your temperature gauge. But the flyability of the airplane is so simplified compared to the reciprocating engine. And then the reliability numbers of the turbine, it's 1 million versus 700 to 800 hours of flight time without an anomaly that's going to make you fly from one airport to the other. It's just a reassuring factor. And when I mentioned that I wouldn't fly at night or IMC, it was within 2 years of obtaining a Silver Eagle to fly. I had made 2 trips at 2 in the morning from Long Beach to Reno, Nevada, which is diagonally at night in the weather, in a single engine airplane. And I wouldn't do that before in the daytime. So that is the reliability. A piston engine 210, I've had all kinds of events happen to me. I've had electrical failures, I've had engine failures, I've had oil pressure failures, I've made emergency landings at airports. In 19 years with the Silver Eagle, I have not experienced one anomaly that's made me deviate to an alternate airport.
How many hours have you flown the Silver Eagle?
I just did an insurance questionnaire, and it's a little over 5,800 hours in the turbine 210, and then I had about 2,000, not quite two, maybe 1,500 hours or so in the regular 210, and which my total flying time now since 1973 is a little over 7,000 hours. But the Silver Eagle, I normally fly 2 to 3 Silver Eagles daily.
If someone would be interested in this platform, what would you recommend him?
What do you mean recommend? You mean in the model of the 210 or the year of the 210?
Why should he buy the Silver Eagle?
Why should he buy a Silver Eagle? Well, there's a lot of reasons to fly the Silver Eagle. The number one reason, probably the one and two most important reason for someone to buy a Silver Eagle, it is the smallest, least expensive, pressurized, turbine-powered, certified aircraft in the world. There's no other airplane like it. The Bonanza has a similar engine, same engine basically, and they make Bonanzas with PT6s, but they're not pressurized. The 206, they're not pressurized. The aircraft for the money that you pay for the airplane, for its retention value of investment. I sell aircraft today for refurb for more money than I sold them 15 years ago, and they really hold their value. So there is not another certified turboprop pressurized aircraft in the world that's 6-passenger that can operate for the operating expense of the Silver Eagle. It's only around $262 an hour, and it's actually cheaper to operate than the piston counterpart, because by the time you reach 3,500 hours, you'll be looking at about $210,000 worth of investment on your third engine in a regular P210. So the operational cost of the Silver Eagle from an engine standpoint is only $61 an hour. People think, why should I spend this much money on an aircraft that's 38 years, approaching 40 years in age? It's because it's the only aircraft in the world that retains its value. A piston 210 sells for more money today than it sold for 38 years ago. So the aircraft are just phenomenal. Cessna has thought about bringing them back. The reason they don't is because it would cost almost $2 million to buy one with a piston engine in it today, and they just think there's no marketplace for it.
Bob, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.